Well, it is summertime here in southeast Alberta, which means camping season. And of course, as we pull out the camp stoves or get those campfires going, we want to know, how can we make something fabulous to eat? Now, we're not just talking about wrapping some hot dogs and bacon. We are going to be doing some elevated cooking. And in order to do that, we brought out the experts. Of course, they own Camp Cookhouse out in Elkwater. So we're going to be joined later in the show by Alex and Becky. As I mentioned off the top, we are up at the Gas City Campground today, and we are talking all about glamping a little bit, but not in the traditional sense, not with a trailer, but rather with what we're eating. I'm joined by the owners of Camp Cookhouse today, Alex and Becky. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So we're going to take campfire cooking to a little bit of an extreme today. You guys, you're pretty fantastic at what you do with food, and so we gave you a challenge to come up with something gourmet over the campfire. So what are you guys making for us today?
Well, when I'm cooking outside, I generally don't like to work very hard. So what I'm going to do is take a couple of really nice ingredients and just try not to wreck them.
Okay.
So we have some really nice pork from Sprague Farms, and right now it's really great to be cooking in Medicine Hat, in the Medicine Hat area. Red Cliff is just booming with really, really nice produce. So I just picked the nicest tomatoes that I could get, and we're gonna make a really nice salad that's gonna go with the pork.
Okay, I like it. Becky, what about you?
I'm doing a bit of a take on a s'more because I hear people like those things. So I'm doing like a skillet cake with marshmallows that we made, and apple and chocolate, really nice chocolate. So it's gonna be fun and messy.
The way camping cooking should be.
Exactly.
Right.
Super big mess, super delicious.
Awesome. Well, we had told them we wanted something, a take on s'mores, and I said, we have the chocolate, we have the marshmallows. I said, whoa, we make our own. So we're gonna let the pros take over and show us how it's done, and maybe we'll get some ideas on what we can do this summer. Stay tuned for more here on Go. We're at the Gas City Campground today, and we are doing some gourmet cooking over the campfire. And to do that, we brought in the experts. It's the owners of Camp Cookhouse out in Elkwater. Alex is now joining me. And Alex, you're going to be cooking some pork from Sprague Farms.
Yes, I am.
And doing a fancy tomato salad.
Very fancy.
Produce from greenhouses in Red Cliff with charred kale.
Yes.
Very interesting. I'm gonna let you get started. Go ahead.
Cool. So what we're gonna start with is just getting the pork chops on, because that takes the longest.
Okay.
So let our fire cook down to the point that we're pretty much just coals, because we don't want a bunch of flare-ups. We have some delightfully fatty pork chops.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna let those start going. They've been seasoned really, really simply, just with salt and pepper. I like to let the seasoning kind of sit in for a little bit, so they were seasoned like 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
We're gonna try and not really mess with them and don't really touch them very much. I've got my cast iron pan here just in case we do get a bunch of flare-ups. There's a difference between a nice amount of char and a bunch of burnt food. So in case the fat starts to melt a little bit too much and we get a fire that's too big, we can let them hang out for a little bit in the pan and still keep cooking and get nice and crispy. There's some really nice fat, and there's also some really nice skin on there. Okay. So having the pan there will be a really good opportunity to crisp up that skin. We're just gonna let these hang out here. We're gonna finish prepping our tomato salad.
Okay.
So what we have here is just kind of a mix of some really nice cherry tomatoes, some diced green tomatoes. It's going to give us a nice textural contrast, and they're pretty acidic, so it'll be really nice with the pork. And I'm going to use just an heirloom beefsteak tomato. Not terribly popular around here, so it's kind of cool. We do a vegetable side at the restaurant that kind of switches in and out. So we were doing a nice tomato salad. It would have been, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, and it's cool because it's produce that people haven't necessarily seen a lot of, but it's grown essentially in your backyard, or whatever, 15 minutes away from your backyard. Cool. So all we're gonna do is just cut a few more pieces And again, just kind of let this guy sit. Let the flavors all kind of hang out together. Pork's not burning, that's awesome. Salt, good amount of pepper. Pepper and tomatoes are best buds. Some nice olive oil, the finest olive oil that Superstore has to offer. And just a couple of herbs that, again, we picked up from Redcliffe. There's a bunch of different guys that grow nice stuff. So this is all just stuff that goes really well with tomatoes and with pork. We got some basil, some mint, and some oregano.
It smells amazing.
The last thing I'm gonna do, we do a couple of different vinegars at the restaurant. This is, I guess, kind of a byproduct of a hot sauce that we make. So it's really just chili vinegar. The heat is gonna go really nicely with the cold tomato salad. And it's gonna go really nicely with the pork chops. Perfect. So just let that kind of hang out and get happy.
We like happy food.
We like happy food. And I mean, that's essentially dinner.
All right, I like it. Well, as things keep going on the fire here, let's see what else we have coming up on today's show.
Do it again. Nailed it!
Nice work.
That's not bad.
Out here in the Gas City Campground, I have my personal chefs on hand to make me a fabulous gourmet campfire dinner. Alex tells me that the pork is ready to come off the fire. And how do you tell that it's ready to come off?
I mean, pork is one of those funny things. I think you'll get, you know, the occasional ant or whatever that needs their pork super well done, which is totally fine. I mean, one of the really cool things about food is it's really personal, so people like things a certain way. I like my pork a little bit pink. I don't think we really need to worry about trichinosis. So basically, kind of, once you have some resistance, people, you know, you can get do the hand trick and whatever with steaks. I don't think that's necessarily the most reliable thing, but if it feels fairly firm, let it rest in a warm place for like a beer and a half, and then slice into it and you're good to go.
And that's the trick, is letting it rest so that the juices come back through it, right?
Absolutely, and the beer. Also a great trick for outdoor cookery. So we're just gonna let this guy hang out over here. And I'm just gonna dress the kale. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, season everything.
Season everything. So seasoning is specifically salt.
Seasoning, yes, seasoning is salt. Well, actually, and that's not entirely true. Seasoning is also vinegar. Acidity is really important in seasoning food, and I don't think a lot of people do that necessarily, but you'd be surprised at like what a couple of drops of acid can do to brighten up food, especially if you're dealing with quite rich food, which in this case, our pork chops are. So yeah, we're just gonna let this get nice and charred. It's gonna give us, again, like a nice kind of flavor contrast in the salad, something that's burnt. Kale's a nice and sturdy vegetable. It's a superfood. Yeah, no, it's gonna go really well in the salad. We generally don't like to plate things all split up at the restaurant. I'm certainly not gonna do that here because we're camping. So, couple of tomatoes. What's really cool about using like really pretty vegetables is you don't have to do anything to them. And your dish is gonna look really nice. So take a couple of our pork chops.
You don't see the big bowl of dried parsley sitting anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said before, I mean, the fat's kind of rendered out a little bit, and you can see that it looks super fancy, and all we've done is break the fat up a little bit. Salt and pepper, that's all you need. If you're using stuff that's really nice, you don't really need to do a lot to it. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of this.
Oh my goodness.
Put that on top, juice everything up.
I'm taking you guys camping every time now.
Yeah, seriously.
I wasn't joking when I said I have my chefs on hand.
As long as you're willing to go camping in October when we have time, absolutely. There you go, a little bit of burnt kale.
That's amazing.
Sweet.
Family style.
Family style.
It's a way to eat. All right. Well,
Camping food.
we are going to dig into this, and then we're going to come back, and Becky is going to make us a dessert. Again, it is a twist on s'mores like you have never seen before, so stay tuned for that and so much more here on Go. Well, we have devoured the tomato salad as well as the pork that was done over the campfire. Now we're going to let Becky take over. She's going to do dessert for us. And I had asked them to do some sort of twist on the traditional s'more. And in my mind, that's drizzling chocolate sauce instead of melting it. But you guys have come up with something totally out of the box.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, I guess.
It's a s'more that's going to taste
gonna
like
find out
apple
if it
pie. And this is what cooking is all about, to see if it works. And you guys actually have some marshmallows you guys make in the restaurant. I understand you guys sell them year-round.
We do.
All kinds of
Mostly in the
flavors.
summer. Lots of flavors. Usually 3 or 4 at a time.
What are the popular ones?
The ones we're using today, apple pie, very
Okay.
popular. Lemon meringue pie, also very popular. And what else goes over really well? I mean, I've also done like burnt honey, rosemary, black pepper. That did pretty well.
Oh my
Coffee, delicious. Tiger tail.
So basically, if I say to you, I want it to taste like this, you just make it happen.
Within reason. Yeah, I try to do some fun stuff.
I like
Chocolate
it.
mint.
I like
That's a
it.
big one.
This is good. Good to know. Camp Cookhouse out in Elkwater. All right, so we're going to do a graham cracker pancake.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
So the dry mixture is a flour blend to keep it simple.
Yes.
Baking powder, baking soda, salt.
Yeah. So when people say graham cracker, all graham is whole wheat flour. Graham flour is whole wheat flour. So
Okay.
graham crackers are made out of whole wheat flour. So there's a whole wheat flour.
So there's no graham crackers that are
No,
crushed up in
no
there.
graham
This
crackers
is
in there.
From scratch.
Graham flour, which is really just whole wheat flour.
Okay, and then the wet mixture.
So this is like a basic buttermilk pancake thing. If you want, use Bisquick if you want. Like, you don't have to do this. So it's like buttermilk, eggs, brown butter, brown sugar, vanilla, lots of vanilla.
Okay.
Salt, don't forget salt.
Gotta season it.
Gotta season it.
We learned about that with
Yeah,
Alex.
all the things.
All right, so go ahead. We'll let you take over.
So literally like a pancake. Like you just wet into dry.
Okay.
It's not rocket science. Look for a good recipe.
Okay.
Mix this up. It's gonna be lumpy. That's fine.
You want lumpy?
Yeah, like
sort of ish.
sort of ish. When people say like you want your pancake batter to be lumpy, it's not because the lumps are good. It's because you don't want to overmix it.
Okay. Does
So
that
if you were to
because
mix
you're
it to
adding too much air or taking
Because
too
you'd
much
be
out?
developing the gluten too much.
Okay. There is science.
There is
when it
science
comes to cooking.
Yes.
Go science. Right?
Go science. So, this pan's warm. And we're gonna throw a bunch of butter in it. You know, enough. Don't get
Real
scared.
butter. Be generous with it.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
We're camping. Calories
Exactly.
don't count.
So we're not screaming hot, which is good,
Okay.
because it would just burn.
So like medium warm if you're doing this
exactly
at
like
home.
you're cooking a pancake at home,
Okay.
really. Because that's what this is. We're calling it like a griddle cake, or it's a skillet cake, if you will.
A skillet cake s'more.
Da-da. And we're doing like a big one.
Okay.
I'm gonna eyeball this, but kind of cover the bottom a bit. You can't go too thick, because if you're gonna go really thick, that's when you need like an oven to cook
Right.
it. There's nothing wrong with a big, thick, beautiful pancake, but we're outside. We don't really have what we need to do that properly.
Yeah.
So that's gonna take take a little.
Same kind of idea, let the bubbles appear.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to let this rest on the fire for a little bit, and we're going to see what else we have coming up on the show today. So stay tuned here on Go.
This is Lindt chocolate because it's the best and the tastiest.
Yeah.
And treat yourself. So I like to mix the white and the dark because white's not really chocolate, but it's delicious, let's be honest. And dark is kind of cuts that sweetness a bit when you've got the white going on and the marshmallows and all that jazz. So we're not caring how this looks. It's gonna melt and be delicious. I mean, you know, let's get them even,
Amazing.
whatever. So we want this to melt while we toast our mallows. It's probably good. Add more, add less. Again, nice chocolate is preferred. It's just
Go
better.
for the good ingredients.
Go for it, you know? Now we're just gonna toast these up a bit. Get a longer stick if you require it.
So when people hear that you guys make your own marshmallows, as Leanne and I were amazed at the talent, you said they're pretty easy.
They are pretty easy if you've got the right equipment.
Okay.
And you can find, really what you need is you need a mixer. So of course at the restaurant we have quite a large mixer, so we can make large batches. So if you've got a mixer at home, you can make marshmallows. Google it, Google a recipe will come up. Lots of recipes will come up, but they're all basically the same.
Okay.
The other thing you'll need is a candy thermometer. So, which lots of people have.
Lots of people have.
Lots of people have. And that's it. Like the instructions are pretty simple. The ingredients are pretty simple. It gets a little crazier when you get into flavors.
Right.
Flavors get a little harder.
Because you're making syrups.
Yeah, and there's certain things, like you can add an extract really easily, but it's not quite the same. Like when I make these apple pie ones, I use actual apple juice.
Okay.
But then you're kind of messing with the chemistry of the recipes.
Right.
Which I know how to fiddle around with.
Yeah.
But lots of people don't. But if you want to make like a basic marshmallow, super easy.
Okay.
Encourage you to do it. You'll impress all your friends.
Or your TV hosts.
Or your TV hosts. Yeah, so I'm making them like constantly in the summer.
Right.
I'm constantly making marshmallows. So often they'll go on a dessert that's on the menu as well. Right now they're not.
Okay.
Right now they're not, but usually we'll do something. So we're just gonna grate a bunch of apple on it. We're kind of heading into the end of apple season, obviously, because we're waiting on the new crops.
Yeah.
So we'll take a lot of season here, but which is unlike us.
Preferred type of apple?
I like ambrosia and pink ladies.
Okay.
I also love a granny. Granny's great. So those would be like my three that are super readily available. These are pink ladies.
You can hear the sizzle as the fresh apple hits the pan.
Boom. So it looks like a total mess, and it's supposed to.
But it's going
It's a
to
hot
be awesome.
camping mess. And you share it out of the sea. You can cut it, take out slices if you want. I don't care. It's what you want to do, right?
I love it.
Big giant s'more cake thing.
Apple pie s'mores from Becky at Camp Cookhouse. Thank you so much. I love it. You guys are awesome. We're going to have you guys back on Shaw TV again and again because you feed us very well. If you want some more ideas or if you want to check these guys out, again, they're out in Elk Water is what I'm trying to say, Camp Cookhouse. Stay tuned. We have a little bit more here on Go. Well, that is it for our show today. A big thank you to Alex and Becky from Camp for showing us how to take a simple campfire and turning it into something fabulous to eat while you're out enjoying the camping season this summer. Now, of course, we do want to remind you that as of today, as we're recording this, there's no fire ban within the municipality of Medicine Hat, but always check out the websites or contact the local fire department to see if there is a fire ban in place, as it has been very hot and dry this year, of course. Stay safe out there, enjoy your campfire cooking, and we'll see you next time here on Go. Out at the campground. All right!